What's that they said throughout all of Game of Thrones? Winter is coming. That sounds really cheesy, but they're right. Winter is coming and the forecast says that it's gonna be a bad one. Are you ready? Well, I live in New Jersey, and a couple years ago, in 2010, we had an especially strong blizzard come through, right around Christmas time. Around this area, we were calling it the Christmas blizzard. If I remember correctly, snowfall came to a total of about 4 feet, and with the wind drift, there were some wind drifts that came up to 7 feet, like over my head. Now, as a first responder, around that time, I remember distinctly having a serious issue getting to certain calls. In fact, one of the calls that I went on took me about 4.5 hours to get to. That's crazy, guys. 4.5 hours. Hours. In a city where the normal response time, or the average response time, is about 5 minutes. It took me that long to get there. It was crazy. And why did it take me so long to get to these calls? Because people were just outright abandoning their cars in the middle of the street. They just weren't prepared for anything that was gonna happen. It took days to clean everything up. Plows couldn't get through, that means I couldn't get through. That means people that were calling 911 were not getting the help they needed because nobody was prepared for what had just happened. Now, for those of you that live in a city, you might be thinking, I live in a city. That's not gonna happen to me. But yes, it is possible to be less than a mile away from your home and not be able to get there. I spent a lot of time digging people out of their houses and a lot of time digging out cars that were stuck and doing whatever I could to get these vehicles out of the way so that I could get through. And of course, we could not depend on the plows to help us out at that time because they were having the same exact problems we were. Now, because of this, I now keep certain items in my vehicle. Yeah, I mean, I could take some of it out during the summertime, but I pretty much just keep this in my car because you just never know. Now I know if I were gonna get stuck in this problem again, I could get myself out, or if somebody else I knew had a problem like this, I could get them out. First off, at the time of the storm, I was driving a Hyundai Tiburon. If you know what a Tiburon is, it's a two-door, two-wheel drive vehicle. Needless to say, my car stayed parked where it was, buried for the entirety of the storm. So I either stayed at work or got a ride from somebody that had an SUV. So step one to me never having this problem again is I sold the Tiburon and I've driven a Jeep Wrangler ever since. On top of having a four-wheel drive vehicle, make sure that you maintain that vehicle, especially since the cold months are coming and there may be a chance for snow or ice. You could have the nicest car on the planet, but if you don't take care of it, it's not gonna be so nice anymore. Now let's go through the kit. Parts number 1 and 2 I don't have with me right now. Actually, they pretty much stay loose in my car all year round. And the first part of that is a set of good jumper cables, either to jump somebody else's car or have somebody jump my car. And something else that goes along with jumper cables, I also keep a portable jump pack in my car. I charge it once a month in case I get stuck somewhere and there's nobody out there to help me. This portable jump pack also has the added bonus of having a light on it, and I can also use it as a portable power pack to charge my phone or any other USB devices that I have. Second item that's always in my car, if you own a Jeep Wrangler and you go off-roading, this item is a must. It's a tow strap. And if you're gonna get a tow strap for your vehicle, make sure that it's rated for your vehicle. These things aren't that expensive to begin with, but don't go cheaping out on it, because the last thing you need is to strap your vehicle up to another one, they start pulling, and then the strap breaks. If you go off-roading, then you're no stranger to pulling people out of some slippery situations. I know, it's happened to me before. Now let's get to the case. My specific case of choice is the Pelican Storm Case IM2200. I am a huge fan of Pelican cases. Actually, I've had this case for quite a long time. I used to keep my GoPro stuff in it, but I have now repurposed it. I like using a Pelican case for this situation because it's durable, it's waterproof, it'll keep out the dust, it'll keep everything in there clean, and I even know if the car were to get set on fire, this case would keep the contents safe. Don't ask me how I know, I just do. If you're curious, this case looks like it's about 17 inches wide by about 13.5 inches deep and about 7 inches tall. Personally, I prefer the Storm cases because they have this fancy button here that makes it easier to open the latches. Compared to your traditional Pelican cases, with this kind of latch, so hard to open, so hard to close. The Storm cases, I believe they're a little bit more expensive, but if you're interested in saving a couple more dollars, the traditional version of this case is the Pelican 1450 case. All right, let's open it up. First off, on the very top of my Pelican case is a scarf. I got one of those one of those wide scarves that opens up nice and big. This has multiple uses, not just as a regular scarf. I can use it to cover my head, I can use it as a pillow, I can use it to wrap my body, or I can use it as an extra layer underneath my jacket, legs, or pants. And in a serious emergency, if I got seriously cut, I could use this as a dressing. First off on top, a traditional mag light. This is a 3D cell mag light. It's not very powerful. If you watched my previous video, you know in my everyday carry, I always carry a flashlight with me. Specifically one made by Olight. I love that flashlight and it is super bright. Much brighter than this. As you can see, here's the 3D cell batteries. I keep them out of the flashlight while they're stored because if you keep them in there, they have a tendency of sort of exploding, and that renders the flashlight useless. This also doubles as a weapon if I needed it. Now, if you carry something for self-defense, you better make really sure that you know how to use that weapon, because obviously there is always the chance that whatever you're using to defend yourself could end up in the hands of the person you're trying to defend yourself from. Next here on top is just a little supply bag. In this bag I have 4 regular size zip ties. Who doesn't need zip ties? You could fix so many things with it. 4 small size zip ties, a roll of duct tape. I just rolled it up myself from off of a bigger roll. A 3000 milliamp power bank, just enough juice to get your phone started if it's dead and charge it probably once. I've got a few of these power banks, so I rotate it out once a month. This way I know I always have a charged power bank in the case. Along with the portable power bank, a multi-USB cable. You make it longer or shorter. On this end, the regular USB, and on this end connects to a micro USB, a lightning cable, and the USB-C. A plain Sharpie in case I need to leave a note somewhere. I'll use put the duct tape out somewhere and then write the note on it. A lighter and a single-use super glue. This is just what I had on hand when I made the case. This one is Gorilla Glue. but I've also made kits before with one-time use crazy glue. And a lighter, because who doesn't need a lighter? Next up on top, I know it looks ridiculous, but I wear contacts most of the time. Sometimes I wear glasses, but for those of you that do wear contacts, I am fairly certain you've had a time where you were out and about or even driving and one of your contacts either came loose or something got in it, and then you scratch your eye in some different way and your contact came out and now you can't see. I try to carry a spare set of contacts with me, but just in case, I keep with me these glasses that I got from basic training. Most people refer to them as BCGs, but I keep them in the case in case I need to be able to see what I'm doing. They're durable. I know it'll be difficult to break them, and that's why I just throw them in here. If I'm putting these on, it's an emergent situation. It's not about style, so yeah. Next thing on top is just a basic multi-tool. You got your pliers, a knife, a screwdriver, a saw, you know, nothing fancy. Probably the most useful thing out of this are the pliers. This is usually loose on the car. This is usually loose in my car, right by my shifter. This is just your basic rescue tool to break glass or cut your seatbelt off. I just brought it in here to show you. Right here is a spray bottle. It's just filled with your basic rubbing alcohol. If you don't know, probably one of the fastest way to defrost your windshield is to spray a mixture of rubbing alcohol and water on the windshield. It just melts all that ice away. I have it in this spray bottle, secured with some tape, and just to make extra sure, in a plastic bag. If I were going to use this, I would take whatever bottle of water I have in my car, add some water to it, and then go ahead and spray it on my windshield or any other windows. Now here on the left is just a pack of hand and foot warmers. This plastic bag is just a bag full of paper towel, because paper towel comes in super handy. Right here is like a Mylar packable blanket. I'm not going to open it up all the way, but basically it's just like a sleeping bag made out of some Mylar material. And over here I just have another extra Mylar blanket. In a situation when it is freezing cold out and you don't have enough layers, the best form of heat that you can get, it's not battery powered and it's not fuel powered, it's actually your own body heat. The best way to warm somebody up in a situation where it's frigid out is actually to get skin on skin, go ahead and cuddle up with your buddy and share your body heat. But in an instance when you're alone, you just wrap yourself with one of these Mylar blankets, and then it's designed to reflect your own body heat back to you. Right here on the bottom, this is called a SAM splint. It's basically a flexible splint, has several different uses. These are just the ones that are advertised. Maybe later on I'll do another video on what you can do with this thing. Right here, plastic bag just full of three protein bars. This plastic bag contains a beanie and a set of gloves. Each of them were $1 from the local Walmart. I don't know about you, but these come in super handy. I have bought another set just to carry and wear for everyday use. Here's just a pack of paracord that I had laying around because you never know when you need some type of cordage. Here I have Purell wipes and hydrogen peroxide wipes. One to clean things in my surroundings, and Purell wipes to clean my hands or other parts of the skin. Be careful around the eyes. Wipes, because there might be a time when you end up using a public bathroom, and along with that, for us females, a set of sanitary wipes and tampons. Right here I just have a set of fuses, because winter is a fantastic time for fuses to blow. So I have a replacement fuse for everything in my fuse box in this bag. Reflective belt for when you're working in the dark. Just a cheap plastic poncho if it's raining or snowing hard. A set of nitrile gloves. My little homemade first aid kit. It's got some cling, some 4x4s, abdominal pads, some alcohol wipes, some regular band-aids, and the all-important Motrin. A pressure bandage, a quick clot dressing, and a chest seal. All available on Amazon. Also, a tourniquet. Guys, I'm not carrying this stuff because I think maybe I'm gonna get shot or stabbed. This is more like if you're doing some household work or work on your car or work away from home and you get some nasty cut, like some piece of metal comes and cuts your arm or you're in an accident, you have the ability to bleed out in seconds before any help can get to you. So I bought these things to put in my kit. So if I somehow ended up in this situation or was with somebody that ended up in that type of situation, I could help them right then and there before help could arrive. 2 cravats, a tire pressure gauge, a pair of shears, a pair of clean long socks. There's no words to express how uncomfortable it is to be walking around with wet socks. So I thought, better put a pair of clean socks in this box so I know I can always change my socks if I need to. And a pair of regular utility gloves. Alright, so I'm not saying go out there right now and buy all of these pieces of equipment for your car because everybody's different. This is just the kit that I have specifically made for myself, thinking about the things that we've encountered over the years and what has gone through my mind in a state of an emergency, and I was literally sitting there thinking, my gosh, I wish I had this and I wish I had that. Hopefully my kit has inspired you to think about your different situation and the items that you might want to keep in your vehicle. If you have any ideas on how I can improve my kit, or if you keep anything different in your car, I'd like to know, because maybe it'll be something that I'll add to my kit. And until I see you in the next video, remember, if you prepare for the worst, you'll be ready for anything.
I follow you into the sun, shooting rays like a shotgun. You gotta be my someone.